When you look around the world, and at most of developed history, transportation has been one of the most crucial developments to societal developments. Even in recent history, there are those who can still remember when such innovations as the plane, train, or automobile turned society upside down and impacted urban development. However, in the United States, public transportation has largely lagged in the face of rising costs of maintenance and the gradual deprioritizing of infrastructure. In that measure, when the average American commutes more than ever, public transportation needs to change. And with the Hyperloop, it just might as a concept by Elon Musk in 2012 and was touted as the future of passenger transport, styling itself as a high-speed passenger transport system that involves a sealed tube through which high-speed pods move. The project argued it could cut down the travel time from London to Edinburgh, for example, from 4 hours to a simple 30 minutes. Yet, for how science fictional the idea might be, turning a 4-hour trip into a 30-minute one is squarely within the realm of practical science, the cornerstone of the project being its reliance upon the principle of magnetic levitation. Magnetic levitation, or maglev as it is oft referred, is when an object is suspended in the air using only magnetic fields and no other support. Along with various trains using maglev to some degree, this principle has been harnessed in a multitude of capacities, from magnetic bearings in engineering to the floating speakers one can buy online. What makes this work, you might ask? Well, there are two main types of maglev technology used by trains. The first is electromagnetic suspension, or EMS. EMS uses electronically controlled electromagnets in the train to attract it to a magnetic steel track, while the second, electrodynamic suspension, EDS, uses superconducting electromagnets on both the train and the rail to produce a mutually repellent force that makes the carriage levitate. This can be seen in an EDS variant technology used by Inductrack, which uses an array of permanent magnets on the underside of the train instead of powered electromagnets or cooled superconducting magnets. So how does the Hyperloop use magnets? Well, in the original concept, the pods floated on a layer of pressurized air, in a similar way to pucks on an air hockey table. However, a more recent version of the technology from Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, HTT, one of two companies leading the Hyperloop race, uses passive magnetic levitation to achieve the same effect. This technology was licensed to HTT by Lawrence Livermore National Labs, which developed it as part of the Inductrack system. The method is thought to be cheaper and safer than traditional maglev systems. With this method, magnets are placed on the underside of the capsules in a Halbach array, thus focusing the magnetic force on one side of the array while almost entirely cancelling out the field on the other side. These magnetic fields cause the pods to float as they pass over electromagnetic coils embedded in the track, and thrust from linear motors propels the whole pod forward. The HTT's main rival, Hyperloop One, is also using a passive magnetic levitation system where pod side magnets repel a passive track with the only input energy coming from the speed of the pod. For both systems, air pressure is extremely important in aiding their movement, and as such has to be lowered using pumps to maintain it at optimum levels. The low air pressure would dramatically reduce the drag they'd face and thus also cheapen costs on electricity. Still, in the talk of transportation, it's important to put such high-minded goals into the context of developmental timelines in how they'd impact your life as a user of transportation. In terms of the system by Hyperloop One, it has progressed meaningfully, with a recent test having shot a pod through a test tube at 192 miles per hour. But while impressive, it still falls short of the 250 miles per hour stated goal. However, a student team from the Technical University of Munich recently managed to receive an impressive top speed of 201 miles per hour on SpaceX's custom-built 1.5-kilometer test track in Hawthorne, California, the achievement having been entered into Elon Musk's Hyperloop pod competition. With tests like these proving the worth to the concept, it's likely the first commercial track could be built by Hyperloop One in the UAE. after the company agreed to a feasibility study with the Dubai Roads and Transport Authority (RTA). The proposed system would connect Dubai and Abu Dhabi with a mere 12-minute journey. Despite various proposed projects around the globe, critics claim that Hyperloop infrastructure is far too costly to ever develop into a comprehensive transport system. So, whether we shall see the Hyperloop become the next major innovation in public transport in the next couple of decades, or if it will remain the far-off goal of innovators, remains to be seen. Thanks for watching.